A new season of hoops, and that means your boys Ravi and B are here to get it on and get it started and get it popping, man. 2015-2016 season is finally here. I must admit, those 8-10 weeks seem long, man. So Ravi, man, what you got to say to the people?
Hey, man, we've had a great off season. We've done a lot during the off seasons. Much like a lot of these teams, and looking forward to exciting season coming up. And within the last few weeks, we're getting a lot of subplots here.
Oh wow, yeah, we'll definitely get into it. We're gonna do the Eastern Conference preview. We're gonna give our top 8 picks. Maybe give a quick rationale why we pick the way we picked. But first, getting off so we could address this issue. Obviously, last week or so, scary times here for the former Los Angeles Laker and Dallas Maverick for a cup of coffee. As well as Miami Heat. And Clippers, I think, as well, too. He started his career. Lamar Odom was in the hospital, obviously. Issue there with drugs involved. I think everybody by now knows the details of it. I won't get too much into it. He left the hospital, I believe, yesterday. So that's good to hear. I mean, LO is your boy in this case here. I mean, I think Odom's, it showed in this case throughout the whole week. I mean, Odom's a guy everyone likes in the league. He's not a guy, that has really someone's going to say bad things about Odom. He's a pretty free-spirited type of dude. He's a hard guy not to like, for what I understand the league. And I think as a fan, he's a hard guy not to like. His game's always been a game that's been very fun to watch. He's a 5-tool guy. But, obviously he's had a lot of dark things going on in his past as well as what's happened currently. And I mean, just for me, I'm just hoping that everything works out well for him and he can get on the road to recovery. It's good. Hey, we love to tease Kobe, but good on your boy for what I understand. He left the game last week to go and check him out. Respect to Kobe on that. And, as I said, for the road to recovery, hopefully you get back to a better place, man.
Yeah, I mean, you never want, you never wish bad on anything, on anyone. Hopefully he does get better and, he gets past this. Yeah, I mean, Odom's been my boy from the Laker days. The 2009, 2010 championship teams. But I have a slightly different take on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we want to wish him all the best. Hope he gets better. But I mean, when this news came out, and then you heard some more of the details as to what happened, it's one of those things where, as likable as he is, it's one of those situations where it just, I think ever since he got traded to Dallas, it's just been that's like 2011. It's just been a series of bad decisions on the part of Lamar Odom.
Mm-hmm.
And those decisions have led him to where he is right now. So, it's kind of tough to say, but he only has one person to blame for the situation that he's in right now. So, but I mean, like we said, hopefully he gets better and he gets past it.
Yeah, man, for sure. I think, yeah, we'll move on from that. I mean, it's a tough segue here, but we just wanted to make sure we kind of addressed it because obviously there's a big story going on in the league at the moment. And kind of give our thoughts about it, so for thoughts and prayers and well wishes to he and his family get through that situation, and hopefully he can recover from all the issues going on with him. Anyways, we're gonna move ahead, very awkwardly in this case, to what we really came on here to discuss. It's a new season coming on, lots of questions, lots of interesting things happen, major free agents coming at the end of this season, all sorts of stuff. But right now, we're just going to get into the fun part in this case, making picks and find out how we feel the lay of the land is going to be in the Eastern Conference, and moving into this year. So we're going to roll off our top 8, man, for the playoffs of the East. I'll let you start things off, man. How you see this year shaping up in the East?
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. I have number 1, Cleveland Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
So a recent GM survey that came out, 53% of the GMs picked Cleveland to win the title this year.
Yeah.
So I think that was the overwhelming favorite based on all the major contenders. But I think some key things to look at with Cleveland right now is obviously health.
Yeah.
So we have to see how Kyrie and Kevin Love, how they come back and bounce back this season after their injuries last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how they come back.
Mm-hmm.
And your boy, I mean, he's already started a few preseason games as a precaution for the back issues, and he's played a lot of games in the last few years.
Right.
So those games, those are catching up. So I would say look for LeBron this season to, coast through the regular season for the most part,
Right.
and really save himself for a deep postseason run.
Right.
But I mean, even a 50% LeBron, I still see them winning. I don't. I have them under 55 games. I just don't think. I think he's not going to be pushing himself as much to get 60 wins per se.
Right.
I'll probably give them somewhere like, I don't know, 52, 54 wins around there.
Okay.
Number 2, I have Atlanta.
Okay.
Number 3, Toronto.
Oh, okay.
4, Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, and number 5 is it's a team I'm looking forward to see how they play. And that's the Milwaukee Bucks.
Uh-huh.
Look for a breakout season from Jabari Parker this year. They have some key additions. Greg Monroe, surprised a lot of folks in the offseason, turning on some of the bright lights in big markets for to go down the street to Milwaukee.
Mm.
So I'm excited to see how that team performed. They had the biggest turnaround from any team last season in terms of wins. Number 6, Miami. Number 7, Indiana, and I have Washington rounding it out.
Wow, Washington 8.
I have Washington at 8.
Wow,
I did have Charlotte in there, but
oh wow,
I gave Washington the edge.
We are really gonna have a real interesting discussion about that. Here's my top 8 in this case, because wow, okay, because when I did my 8 just now, I actually had forgotten Washington, but when I put Washington in, you'll be surprised where I put Washington. So number 1, Cleveland. And I'll put that with asterisks, because I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland does not have the number 1 seed due to the injuries at the beginning of the season. I think LeBron's going to pace himself again. And I think that between that combination there, I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland's not number 1. Number 2, I have Washington. I think that Washington's ready to take the next step. They're almost at 50 wins almost at 50 wins, 48 wins last year. I think they could be a 50-win team this year. They lost of Pierce is going to be a key thing, but I think the young guys that last year that started playing, started stepping up in this case. Well, Wall we know is a star in this case, but I think Beal with a full healthy season, and then you throw in there in this case, it slipped my mind. Small forward had the big series against Toronto. Oh jeez, I just lost it in my mind just now. But I think he's going to be improved now and be able to take over the reins at the small forward position. They have a strong front line. I like Washington as number 2 seed. Number 3, Atlanta. They're going to drop a bit. They lost, of course, Carroll. And I think Atlanta, we don't know what Cephalosha is going to be like when he comes back with everything that happened with him. I think they're still going to be a team to watch for. So I think Atlanta at 3. I have 4. I think the Raptors. The only reason why I have the Raptors as high as I do in this case is that I think similar to last year, so much flux in the East. Teams getting back, guys are hurt. Toronto's one of the few teams that starts out the year healthy. And I think Toronto's going to get off to another good start again to maintain that 4 seed. 5, the Bucks in this case. I'm not as crazy in the Bucks as everybody else. I see some people have them up as the 3rd seed. I'm like, well, let's hold on here. Milwaukee still some issues with offense. We'll see with that. Number 6, I have the Celtics at number 6. I think Boston's going to make some strides this year. They got some nice pickups like Amir. To add to their rotation that's going to help them out, as well as David Lee. So I think they're going to move up a little bit to help with their offense, and now full year Isaiah Thomas will help them, I think, as well too. Number 7, the Miami Heat, and the only reason why I have Miami so low is that Miami's roster is always in flux. I'm sorry, always. So I can never put them as a top 4 or 5 seed. Even the Big 3 era, they were never going to be number 1 seed because they never knew who was hurt, including especially who. Bosch coming back from the health issues, the health scares. We'll see. On paper, it should be a top 4 seed, but I just know it's Miami. We'll see. And to round it off, the Chicago Bulls. I think they're going to take a big drop off. New coach, Butler and Rose seem to be a bit at odds. I mean, there's even news coming out today. I saw the guys in the rant post talking about how they might move Noah to the bench. Good luck on that.
I saw that.
From Mirotic, yeah. I just said, yeah, I can get Edwell. That's all I got to say about that. So
I saw that post.
Mirotic can't guard his own shadow, but we'll see how that works out. That's not going to be pretty. So in my mind, Chicago, squeaks in at 8 ahead of my Detroit Pistons. So there's my top 8 right there. I would love to put Detroit in, but we ain't ready just yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Hey, Joe, you got some work to do now.
Exactly, man. So we look through the top 8. Obviously, for Washington is our hugest disparity
I think so. Yeah.
What's your rationale for having Washington so low? Like, I'd be just curious.
Um, I'm not sold. I mean, I know you said you think they're ready to take that next step. I'm just not sold. I mean, I think next step for me for Washington would be second round. Um,
But they were second round last year.
Exactly, and I don't see them getting past the second round.
They're second round last 2 years. Their team to me looks like a team that's one of those teams that are built for playoff mode. Their team is built in that manner. They may not look good all the time during the regular season, but playoff time, their team has the right type of ingredients that are meant for the thing. Proper rebounding, strong front line, the bench in this case with savvy veterans. It's just, and they have a dominant point guard, which makes them a very scary team to deal with. That's my rationale behind watching it, and it's very similar to Toronto. Yeah. Their roster hasn't changed that much besides the loss of Pierce.
Yeah, they haven't had much turnover on the roster.
No, yeah. So all their key principles are still in play. That's what I think. That's why I kept them. The way I looked at my 8 was look for continuity. So I try to keep the teams that had the most continuity. I felt those teams would get off the better start, so I kept them in the top 4 or 5. And then the guys in this case that have new players, stuff, like Miami or Chicago injury situations. That's how I looked at it in this case. I think we both are a little more down in Chicago. You had Chicago where? I had Chicago at 8. You had them at?
I had them at 4.
4. Yeah.
I had them at 4. So, and I mean, before we went on there, I said that at 4 and 5, they were pretty much interchangeable. Again, a lot of it depends on the health of Chicago.
Right.
I know the coaching change is going to impact them as well with Billy Horberg coming in.
Right.
So that's definitely going to have an impact. And aside from the possible benching of Noah, you have some rumors out there, that apparently Butler and Rose, I don't know if they have any issues there behind the scenes. So we'll see. From a chemistry standpoint, we'll see how that plays out as well.
So. I would say, let's talk about the hometown team here for a second, just before we sign off here. So the Raptors, you have at 3.
I had them at 3. I think you had them at 4.
Yeah, I had them at 4.
Yeah.
I don't know if yours is a strong 3 or a weak 3. Let's put it this way. For example.
Lukewarm 3.
Yeah.
Mine's a lukewarm 3.
A lukewarm 3. So in this case, is this a 3 in this case that makes 50 games or don't make 50 games?
What they got 48 last year, 49 last year?
Yeah.
They got 49 last year. I mean, I think they should be able to break through that 50-point barrier. At least get that 50-point win for the 50-point game mark for the first time in franchise history. Yeah, I think like you said, from a continuity standpoint, not too much change.
Yeah.
For what I've seen of Lowry in preseason, looks like he's lost some weight.
Yeah.
I think he put up 40 in one of those games.
Yeah, he's looking good so far. We'll see. I mean, he has a tendency to wear down. We'll see. My concern with Toronto, mine's a lukewarm 4, just because I think in this case continuity. But I'm concerned about the rebounding. I could see some nights where we're getting out rebounded by about 20-something, 25 rebound. It could get ugly. It could be a slaughter on the boards this year. Patterson Valanciunas front line makes me queasy. And there was even rumors about Patterson coming off the bench. They were actually considered there's some rumors about Scola in the fight with Patterson for that power forward spot. So.
And my wish list for the hometown team this year. I just hope, and I am really looking forward to the trade deadline because I hope they move. You know who. And it's a certain inconsistent small forward that we have there, Mr. Ross. And,
he's going to get to play more 2 this year, so we'll see how that plays out. I agree with you. I think it's fool's gold. He's one of the guys that look great on paper, but not in person. So we'll see how it all plays out. I think he will be the move if they want to get themselves a legitimate power forward. He's the guy that's going to be part of some deal.
Hey man, I'm not gonna hate. I like using him in NBA 2K, but when it comes down to when the games count, we need some W's there.
For real, man. So, folks, man, that's the Eastern Conference, man. We laid out, man. Just look above for the Western Conference, and get our picks on the top 8 on that. And so, hey, it's the start of a new season, man. We're really excited about it, man. So, check us out for the Western Conference preview, right after this, man. So, Ravi, once again, where can the good folks find you, man?
You guys can find me at Mr. Ravi_Porvita.
And, of course, you can find me at Beyond Locker Room, short for RM, man. Check out the Western Conference preview right after this.